Yeah, what up, you fiddlers? Nick Daniels here, coming at you live, man, yet again. Second video session while we're out on Duncan's Cove here, taking it easy. You can see the ocean out here right behind me. Beautiful, beautiful, honestly, beautiful. I do like making my videos when I come out to these places. I think it's perfect. It's scenic, and you know, I'm just taking it in with nature, man. You know, just hanging out, and you know, we're just saying what's goody. So anyway, today I just want to talk about some of online dating. Is why not you come out here and you have a look at the ocean, and you think about life. Now, I went on a date here yesterday. Now obviously when I upload this video it will have been probably a few weeks, but so let's just say I went on a date recently, and personally I didn't think the date itself was too bad, actually. This is probably one of the better ones I've had in a little while, so nothing against this. It's not a date fail, but it just preferences what I'm talking about, or prefaces it. However, after the fact, I just wasn't really into it, you know, like, and you know how it is, right? You get that feeling, like you meet in person, you're like, I'm not really sure if I'm digging it. So I always try to be respectful, and I'll tell them, right? I'm like, hey, listen, I had a really good time. However, right, I don't think I'm really feeling a connection here. And sometimes you like make an offer, you're like, hey, like, you know, I wouldn't mind still like hanging out as friends, but like as a romantic perspective, like a dating perspective, I'm not really seeing anything there. And that has happened a few times before. I've met people like off Tinder and stuff, like girls, and then we'll just naturally just hang out. Like, it won't be a date. It'll just be like us chilling. And I think it's really good. Like, it can be a very positive thing to do. Now, unfortunately, that didn't really go. We just kind of mutually agreed it probably wasn't going to work, and then just kind of moved along, which is perfectly fine. And I find that it's really like the adult thing to do. I don't find you really ever should ghost after a first date. I think that's incredibly disrespectful to the other person, especially if it didn't go well. You just tell them, like, you're like, hey, listen, like, you know, I wasn't feeling it, right? And that's really all you should have to say. No, I mean, however, if you did message somebody and you were like, hey, listen, I wasn't feeling the connection, and they were like, oh, I was, like, I really want to, you know, and they were really going at you, you know, making you uncomfortable, then, I mean, by all means, then you just stop responding and block the number, or whatever, right? But I mean, I think in most situations, I would think most people would be an adult. They'd kind of see it, and they'd be like, you know what? And you'd be surprised. It sometimes can be a very mutual thing. You know, with this date in particular that I'm referencing, you know, she very much was like, hey, I'm glad you kind of mentioned that. I was thinking the same thing. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, you know, hey, I'm just being honest, right? And no different than if they had said that too. If they had come to me and were like, hey, like, you know, I'm not really digging it. And I probably would have said the same thing, you know. I think it's funny too, I still grabbed the bill in this situation. Like, I mean, it was like $20, but I mean, there are definitely, like, if I went out to dinner and I wasn't feeling a connection, I mean, I don't want to be an asshole, but I mean, like, yeah, I'd probably be splitting. You know, it's like one thing if it's a coffee, it's one thing if it's just a quick drink, but it's like, yeah, like, depending on what it is, right? I'm not spending like $60 because it's like, well, I'm not into it. Like, I'd rather just spend 30. But yeah, I don't think if you never meet though, I don't think ghosting's really that much of a problem, honestly. It kind of bugs the hell out of me sometimes, but it's like when it happens to me, but you know how it is. But it's like, you know what, I'm not actually really that opposed to it now. Like, if I'm talking to someone and I'm just mutually not really feeling it, like I'm just like really bored with it, then yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You can ghost up and you can be like, that's fine, or just unmatch or whatever, because you haven't invested anything. You know, it's no different than you show up to a new job and it would be like your second shift and you're like, oh, do I put my 2-week notice in? No, you just leave. Or you just tell them you're quitting. You're like, hey, I'm out. Like, you know, you don't put a 2-week notice in. Like, you haven't even got a paycheck, you know, like, don't worry about it. You know, I've had people say that all the time, that they'd be like, oh, like, what do I got to do? And I'm like, you just don't show up tomorrow. Like, they're going to understand. Like, they know that you didn't like it. Like, they're not expecting you to go through all the formal channels. Like, it's like, you're there for 20 hours. So I don't know. Let me know you guys' thoughts down below. You know, obviously we got one person out there, that's 1 or 2 people that are alienated from my channel now. Good meme, but you know, the rest of you, you know, you enjoy yourself, so you take it easy. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later. Nick Daniels. Peace. Thanks for watching, you pencil pushers. If you guys want to check out my Instagram here, I've just got it in the background. It's Nick Daniels Photography with an underscore in between each word, where I post every day. That's a lie. Thanks for watching. Peace.